Part 10. Impact on the private sector and productivity. Since 2015, the Trudeau government's fiscal expansion policies and excessive intervention have severely affected the development of Canada's private sector and its productivity advancements. The following points explain this phenomenon. 1. Excessive fiscal expansion leads to the contraction of the private sector. The Trudeau government has continuously increased government spending, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic, where government expenditures in Canada skyrocketed. While these expenditures were helpful in addressing urgent situations in the short term, the long-term high level of spending has hindered investment and growth in the private sector. According to the Financial Post, government spending levels increased by 35% post-pandemic compared to pre-pandemic levels. This continuous fiscal expansion has led to excessive government occupation of resources, reducing the development space for the private sector. 2. Inefficient public sector. Canada's public sector has long been considered inefficient, far below the efficiency of the private sector. Large-scale government intervention often leads to redundancy and managerial waste. Issues such as cost overruns and low execution efficiency in government-managed projects are common, which also increases the burden of public expenditures. In contrast, the private sector focuses more on cost control and innovation, with efficiency far higher than the public sector. 3. Increased tax and regulatory burdens on private enterprises. The government has continuously increased taxes and regulations on businesses, including higher capital gains tax, corporate tax, and carbon tax. These measures have significantly increased the cost burden on enterprises, weakening their profitability. At the same time, the government's frequent intervention in the market has made the business environment unstable, especially in the energy, transportation, and manufacturing sectors, where businesses face uncertainty. This environment has led many private enterprises to reduce investment plans, and even some foreign capital has chosen to leave the Canadian market. 4. Decline in productive capital investment. Capital expenditure by Canadian companies has significantly decreased in recent years, with capital investment accounting for only 8% of GDP, the lowest level in the past 20 years. This indicates a lack of confidence in the future economic prospects of businesses. Continuous high taxation and excessive regulation have suppressed the innovation motivation of enterprises, and the shortage of productive capital has further limited the improvement of productivity. 5. Squeeze on the private sector. Due to the government's large-scale increase in public sector employees and resource consumption, the private sector is squeezed in competition. The Trudeau government has added a large number of positions in the public sector, with high benefits and wages, making it difficult for many private enterprises to compete, especially in the labor market, where businesses face talent shortages and rising costs. Summary: the Trudeau government's fiscal expansion and excessive intervention have not only led to a surge in government debt but also suppressed the development of the private sector. The private sector is more efficient than the public sector, but due to excessive government intervention, the vitality and productivity advancements of the private sector have been significantly suppressed. Part 11. The political class disconnected from the general public. Overview of Canadian members of Parliament's salaries and benefits. 1. Basic salary. Regular member of Parliament. Annual salary of about CAD 194,600 as of 2024. Prime Minister. Annual salary of about 379,000 Canadian dollars. Deputy Prime Minister or Minister. Annual salary of about CAD 279,900. 2. Tax-free allowances. Members enjoy a large amount of tax-free or receipt-free allowances for expenses, such as travel, dining, and housing. Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland's monthly living expenses are reportedly between CAD 60,000 and 70,000. 3. Pension system. Members who have served for more than 6 years are eligible for a lifetime pension. Regular members can receive an annual pension of CAD 60,000 to 70,000 after retirement. Some members' lifetime pension totals may exceed CAD 1 million. 4. Other privileges. Housing, travel, and entertainment expenses are borne by taxpayers. Personal employment expenses such as drivers, nannies can also be reimbursed. public concerns, the treatment of members is significantly different from the living standards of the general public. The pension system is considered too generous. A large amount of tax-free allowances lack transparency. Under economic pressure, member privileges raise fairness questions. This generous treatment system has sparked widespread discussion and criticism of political privileges against the backdrop of the Canadian middle class facing rising living costs and increased tax burdens. Especially the high salaries and generous retirement benefits of members contrast sharply with the economic difficulties of the general public, deepening societal concerns about the disconnection between the political class and the general public. Trudeau was accused of delaying the 2025 election to ensure that some Liberal members facing voter dissatisfaction can reach the 6-year threshold, thus ensuring their pensions and further increasing the burden on taxpayers.